Well, during a People magazine interview, Deborah, the mother of the missing 10, now 11-month-old child, gave her theory of what happened that night. Here's a quote. "What I think is that someone was watching us, and they saw Jeremy's van was not there, and that it just happened to be that night the window was open." So the question is, does this family have any proof at all of a stalker? Well, I want to go back to Detective Kevin Bain, Kansas City Police Coordinator for Crime Stoppers. I understand you've gotten hundreds and hundreds of tips. Tell us about it.
Well, that's correct. When the abduction originally took place, we're basically the repository for that type of information, and to date, we've received over 400 tips to our hotline related to baby Lisa's disappearance.
How do you tell if it's a good tip or a bad tip?
Well, that's not really our job. We take in the information and we forward it on to the detectives that are actually on the ground working the case. They will prioritize that information.
Who are the people who are calling? Who are the people who are calling? Just citizens? They just pick up the phone and they say, hey.
Yes.
Well, we know that there was a tip that there was a child spotted at a delicatessen 100 miles or so outside of Kansas City with 2 women who left apparently without finishing their meals. And then on that basis alone, people said, oh, that's very suspicious. But the cops tracked them down, and that's not a good tip. So there are a lot of tips coming in, but do they really have anything to do with the case? I want to bring in an exclusive interview that we have tonight with a woman who lives in the neighborhood, Stephanie Stevens. First of all, Stephanie, I know this has got to be very difficult for everybody in the neighborhood. Thank you for joining us. What is the mood in the neighborhood tonight?
Mostly people are in shock that something like this would happen in this area because it's a relatively quiet area.
And do you fear, maybe for your own children? We don't know what happened. We don't know who's responsible. So are people keeping their kids indoors?
No, they're not. The kids are still out running around, but I think they're a little bit more vigilant about their surroundings and what's going on, and they're paying more attention to the people in the neighborhood.